Welcome back to Newbrook. Okay, so today we are breaking out the mower to get some grass in the ground for silage harvest. So there's going to be a lot of grass work in the coming days and the coming episodes. So firstly, I fed the cows this morning just to give me plenty of breathing space to crack on with all of that work. So we've got the mower on the Massey here, and we're going to make our way down to the first field. So it's just down between the silage clamps. See, our field of barley here is growing. It's growing slowly but steadily. And here we are. So let's get set up here. Let's get into the corner. I think near enough is good enough. Let's swing out our mower. Let's get fired up and get started. There it goes. And away we go. So, silage season has officially started. Now, I really quite like this tractor for mowing. I find it's got really responsive, tight turning axis, so I quite like that for mowing. Now, conventional wisdom tells me never to travel anti-clockwise when we are on the first round of the headland. Why would we not do that? I think the thought process is that along the headland is probably the part of the field most likely to have branches and stones from walls and so on thrown inside in amongst the grass. It's probably the most dangerous patch of the field is always along the hedges. So on that basis, if you leave the last row around by the headland to the last, or to the end, and if you break something, break your mower, at least you've got the job pretty much entirely done by the time you do that. That's what I was always told growing up anyway. So here we go. Needless to say, I've left the gate open. I've always got to let the gate open. How do you miss bits otherwise? I must say, I've always really loved mowing. First mowing of the year in particular sort of signifies quite an exciting time of the year in the calendar. Speaking of which, the next couple of episodes I would suspect are going to be a little bit longer than usual, just to savour the grass work a little bit more. Also, just as a teaser, I won't be baling any of this. I'm planning to draw trailer loads of this into the silage pit. I'll probably be using the Follow Me mod to run a trailer alongside a trailed harvester, so that should be fun. It's potentially a disaster waiting to happen, but I'm anxious to give it a go. Would it be easier to run one silage wagon or one forage wagon? Yeah, of course it would. Where's the fun of that? I'm anxious to give the Follow Me mod a little bit of a go. I think that'll be fun, so keep an eye out for that episode. As we're cracking on here, I'd say I quite like this mower. I often wonder about the debate between trailed mowers and the 3-point fold-up mowers. some reason when I was growing up, I always found it an art form operating the trailed mowers. I always quite like them. Even to this day, I still have a little bit of a soft spot for the trailed mowers. Now, that said, it's a totally irrational love of them because the fact is the fold-up three-point mowers are just so much easier to maneuver. It's certainly safer on the road as well. I'm happy to have one here on Newbrook. And this field has a little bit of a slant, but nothing too dramatic. I think it's going to be nice and easy to run around here. This mower is 3.1 meters wide. Now, why 3.1, you might ask? It seems an odd number. Well, of course, that's 10 feet. That is 10 feet. Funnily, while my part of the world has wholeheartedly adopted the metric system, there are still a few things that I just can't see to transition in my head. And the width of the mower is one of those things. It's a 10-foot mower, and that's it. Despite using, measuring in centimeters, using metric tools, driving to the field in kilometers, yet my mower is still 10 foot wide. So knocking out the headland here quite quickly. It's coming up reasonably neat as well. So I think I'm going to hand over to a worker at some point, just to finish out the mowing. Just anxious to get the raking started in parallel. Again, on seasons, time is of the essence, so I probably will hand over here at some point. You'll remember from a couple of episodes ago, or way back, I did some early grass work, and I think I got 4 bales from the field beside the house, so I'm really hopeful that things will be a lot better this time around. Of course, the fields are a lot bigger. On seasons also, the seasons menu will prompt you, just let you know how much feed you're going to need for the number of animals you have. So I think I'm going to need something to the tune of 80,000 litres of grass to keep the cows fed for a year. So I'm anxious to make sure I maximise as much grass as I can here out of the harvest. I will mention that it's still spring, so it is possible, I believe, to get a second cut from this in the same year. I'm assuming I'll need to fertilize quite heavily if I want to do that. We'll probably get to that later on. So I'll crack on and we'll catch up here in a little bit. Okay, so we have handed over the mowing to a worker. So just grab the Ford and the rake. We're just going to get set up here in the corner of the field. So let's get our angles right here. Let's drop it down. Let's make sure we get this right from the start. Let's just present it again. Okay, let's get it on the ground and get moving. And away we go. I don't know about you guys, but I always like to set the tractor to cruise control while I'm doing these jobs. This makes me concentrate a little bit more on actually maneuvering my way about here. Not doing terribly well just yet. So this rake looks like it will sweep in 3 rows, which is good. Nice little fit actually. These are the things that you should probably plan in advance. That is to say, calculating the width of machines that work in tandem with each other to figure out if the widths will actually marry together in the end. In this case, it looks quite good. Through no forethought whatsoever on my part. I just got lucky. This Ford really does like to make a lot of noise. All manner of gear changing and revving going on. Plenty of black smoke as well, I love it. We made a little bit of a meal of that corner, but at least the headland row is reasonably clean. Okay, here we go again. I'm just looking across the field. I'm pretty sure the mowing won't be finished by the time I make my way across the field. So I'd imagine there will be a little bit of a traffic jam over there at some point. But that's okay. If I catch up, always the better. Okay, so I'm going to maybe crack on with this and we'll catch up in a little bit for a chat. Okay, so we've finished the raking, or at least I thought I had. So I'm just going to clean up the headland row here. It's a little bit messy. I prefer it to be nice and clean for when we do bring the harvester in here. I mean, what if the neighbours looked in and saw untidy headland rows? Couldn't have that. Humiliation of it all. So I'll get these nice and straight. And I'll do the one at the other end as well. The worker has dumped the tractor right there where he finished, which is very nice of him. We'll knock out this other headland row as well. This is quite frankly unnecessary, but a total matter of pride getting this right. Again, what if the neighbour saw messy rows? Okay, cool. Let's get this rake back to the yard and then we'll grab the mower again. So we're back in the mower. Raking in the first field is complete. It's off to the next field. This is the second of the two fields that we will harvest together in the next episode. Hopefully that will play out quite nicely. I will get started here in the corner. So, I think we'll leave it here for this episode. Do keep an eye out for the next one, because it's going to be the real grass harvest episode. I will be mucking about with the Follow Me mod and a trailed harvester, so I'm looking forward to that myself. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching.